Hello, this is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator here at the HDBaseT booth at InfoComm 2022. Really happy to be joined by Ron Birdie face-to-face for the first time in a long time. Yeah,
absolutely.
From Matrox. Really appreciate you being here, Ron.
Yeah, it is great to be here. It's great to be here back in a live environment at the show floor. There is no better atmosphere than this at the shows.
I agree completely. So speaking of the word live, before we went live here, we were talking about HDBaseT and Matrox, obviously its participation in it, and how you described it as a real success story. Why do you describe it that way?
Well, I mean, HDBaseT, I don't think there is a better recent success story, like in the last 10 years, in terms of how much it was adopted, how quickly it was adopted, and the reasons for it. Excellent, lossless quality, zero latency, and, length of transmission, enabling you to get that quality, excellent quality content from one place to another simply and effectively. They did a great job of implementing it, and then adding all the extras with it. So network, the EDID, functionality there for making sure that you're getting right resolution, that sort of thing. They did a very, very good job, and they even evolved it over the time with certainly the latest, which is, I believe, HDBaseT 3 or HDBaseT 3.
So HDBaseT is obviously well known as being excellent in like a local environment, but let's also talk about AV over IP and kind of broadening that out. What is the nexus between HDBaseT and like a local environment and then AV over IP and broadening out that universe?
Yeah, to the degree, I mean, HDBaseT, very cost-effective solution. So for building out a specific smaller region of moving your AV content around, great solution. But now, okay, why not trying to get more content into that island of HDBaseT that you've built out and get more visibility from the content that you have outside of that? So we've built a solution that brings AV over IP into the HDBaseT environment, or that's acting as a receiver, or it can act as a transmitter. And okay, let's get AV over IP content that's coming off the AV over IP network and get it onto the HDBaseT island, so that you can more readily share external content that's outside of the HDBaseT setup and their network. And that way you have access to all the information, or you can share the information that's on that island with others outside of it. And in fact, what's really kind of cool is actually bridging. You may have two existing, or even 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different, rooms or environments that are fully HDBaseT. What about connecting between them and sharing that? And if you can do it at low latency with perfect quality, you can actually even have a sort of video conferencing network between those islands of HDBaseT. And whether you've got them already, or just because they're cost effective to implement now, it makes sense to do so. And HDBaseT is still very relevant now, and even more so because you're tying it into the AV over IP networks that are so prevalent as well.
Absolutely. So the last time we chatted, it was by Zoom, but we were talking about convert IP. I'm just curious, here at the show, we're now, the show's more than half over, as people have been flocking to the Matrox booth, as you've been talking to people, what kind of reaction have you been getting to convert IP?
It's really been tremendous. The momentum that, the core technology that convert IP is built on is the IPMX sort of standards that's being proposed and hopefully ratified soon. And those standards enable interoperability. So that element of convert IP has just really, it's really got some adhesion to the market. So I'm really hoping that, as people learn more about it and see the benefits of it, of being able to operate potentially many different manufacturers' devices under a single roof of software and control and discovery and management and routing, those benefits are tremendous. You can get the best of breed from many different environments, whether it's a Matrox product or someone else's manufacturer's product, and be able to manage it all from one place. So that part of the story for convert IP is really interesting. And of course, it's the basis of, the flexibility of, uncompressed and compressed from a single device. But yeah, it's just been it's been a pretty fun show so far, and we got another basically day and a quarter to go, and I'm pretty much looking forward to all of it.
As am I. I always feel like I leave a conversation with you smarter, like I've learned something. Thank you so much, Ron, for taking time to chat with me. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be with you too, and thank you.
So happy to have been joined by Ron Bertie from Matrox Video. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator, here at the HDBaseT booth at InfoComm 2022, and we'll be back at you with more content very, very shortly.